There are over 70,000 grain silos scattered across the American Midwest. Towering structures of concrete and steel, some over 100 feet tall, most built in the 1950s and 60s, silent sentinels watching over endless farmland. Farmers call them necessary. Grain storage, part of the business. But there are some silos, older silos, that farmers won't go near. Silos where the grain turns black, where animals refuse to enter, where children's voices echo from inside, even though no children have been near them for 50 years. My name is Daniel Harper. I'm a construction foreman from Chicago, spent 15 years building high-rises and condos, steel and concrete. That's what I know. Until October 2020, that's when I inherited my grandfather's farm in Riverside, Iowa. 380 acres of cornland and a farmhouse I'd only seen in old photos. My grandfather, William Harper, died at 87. Heart attack while checking his fields. I barely knew the man. My old man had cut ties with his father decades ago. Never explained why. Just said, "We don't talk about Iowa," and left it at that. But in his will, Grandpa left everything to me, his only grandson. The lawyer said the property was worth close to $2 million. Prime Iowa farmland. All I had to do was drive out there, sign some papers, and I could sell it. Easy money, simple job. That was the plan. But the farm had other ideas. Because there was something my grandfather's will didn't mention, something the real estate listings didn't include, something the neighbors wouldn't talk about. The silo, the old one, behind the barn, built in 1958. The one that should have been torn down decades ago. The one that was never, ever supposed to be opened. Welcome to Midwest Mysteries. This is the true story of what happened when I opened it anyway. October 15th, 2020, Thursday afternoon. I left Chicago at noon in my F-150. GPS said Riverside, Iowa was 4 hours west. Straight shot on I-80. I'd taken Friday off from the job site. The plan was simple: drive out Thursday, crash at the farmhouse, meet with the estate lawyer Friday morning, sign whatever needed signing, drive back Friday night, beer and poker with the guys Saturday. By Monday, I'd list the property. By December, I'd sell it. By January, I'd have enough cash to finally start my own construction company. I had it all figured out. I was 34 years old, 15 years in construction, started as a laborer, worked my way up to foreman. I knew buildings, knew how they worked, knew how they failed. But I didn't know shit about farming. Couldn't tell corn from soybeans. Had never driven a tractor or baled hay or whatever the hell farmers did out here. But I knew property value and 380 acres of prime Iowa farmland. That was a gold mine. My dad called as I crossed the Mississippi River. "Danny, you really going through with this?" he asked. "It's one night, Dad. I'll be fine. You don't understand. That place. There's a reason I never went back. A reason I never let you meet your grandfather." "What reason?" Long silence. "Dad, just don't stay in the house after dark. Get a motel, in town. Don't stay on that property once the sun goes down." "That's ridiculous. It's just an old farmhouse." "Daniel, I'm serious. I gotta go. Losing signal." I wasn't, but I ended the call anyway. My old man had always been weird about his childhood. Complicated. We don't discuss it. Iowa is dead to me. I figured it was typical family bullshit. Money disputes, old grudges, the usual, but there was something in his voice that afternoon. Real fear. I should have listened. At 4:45 p.m., I took exit 254 off I-80. Riverside, Iowa. Population 1,039. Small town, one main street, diner, gas station, feed store, the kind of place where everybody knows everybody and strangers get noticed. I stopped at the Casey's General Store for directions. The guy behind the counter, older dude, maybe 60, looked at the address I showed him. "You're going to the Harper farm?" "Yeah, my grandfather's place. I inherited it." His expression changed. "Your old Bill's grandson? You knew him?" Everyone knew him. Man kept to himself after what happened back in 72. "What happened in 72? He looked uncomfortable. "You should talk to Dale Peterson. He farms the land next to your grandfather's. He'd know the whole story better than me." "Know what story?" "Just be careful out there, son, especially around the old silo." Don't go near it. Your grandfather had it chained shut for a reason. That was the first time anyone mentioned the silo. What's wrong with it? I gotta help another customer, he said, even though the store was empty. He walked away before I could ask anything else. Small town weirdness, I thought. Probably some local ghost story they tell to mess with outsiders. I got back in my truck and followed his directions, 3 miles north on County Road F44, left at the Big Oak, half-mile down a gravel road, and there it was, my grandfather's farm. The farmhouse was solid, 2 stories, white clapboard that needed paint, but the structure looked sound. Good bones, probably built in the 1920s. Behind it, a big red barn, classic Midwest. I'd seen 1,000 pictures, but never in person. Impressive, and past that, the silos. 2 modern ones, tall steel structures, maybe 20 years old, commercial grade, and 1 old concrete silo, weathered, covered in dead vines, probably 60 feet tall with a domed top. It looked abandoned, out of place, like something that should have been demolished but wasn't. My construction brain immediately started calculating. Demo cost, disposal, site cleanup. I parked in front of the house, got out, stretched. The silence hit me like a punch. No traffic, no sirens, no city noise, just wind through corn and a hawk crying somewhere overhead. It was weird. I'd never experienced real quiet before. Chicago has a constant hum, even at 3 a.m. Here, nothing. I grabbed my duffel and the key the lawyer had sent me, walked up to the front door. The porch creaked under my work boots. Solid oak door, old but well-maintained. Key turned smooth, door opened. Inside smelled like old wood and dust, furniture covered in sheets, everything frozen in time. I did a walkthrough. Living room, kitchen with ancient appliances, dining room with a table for 8, family photos on the walls. I stopped, looked closer. There was my dad, maybe 12 years old, standing in front of this house, not smiling. There was a photo of a young couple, my grandparents, wedding day, 1960s. And there were kids, 3 of them. My dad and 2 other boys. I didn't know my dad had brothers. He'd never mentioned siblings. Ever. I pulled out my phone to call him. No signal, of course. Middle of nowhere. I'd ask him tomorrow when I got back to civilization. Upstairs. 4 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, everything old but clean. Grandpa had kept the place up. I picked the bedroom with the best view, overlooking the fields and barn. Pulled the sheet off the bed. Mattress looked decent. Found clean sheets in the closet. It was 5:30. Sun would set around 6:30. I had time to check out the property. I walked outside, past the barn, looked inside. Old John Deere tractor, tools, equipment, standard farm stuff, some of it I recognized from job sites. Then I walked toward the silos. The 2 modern ones had electrical systems, control panels, clearly functional. The neighbor had been leasing the land, lawyer said, but the old concrete silo, up close, close, it was massive. The concrete was cracked, 50+ years of weather. The vines were thick. There was a door at the base, heavy metal, rusted solid, and there was a chain, thick logging chain, padlocked. Who chains a silo shut? I walked around it, found a metal ladder bolted to the side, leading up. Near the base of the ladder, someone had carved something into the concrete. I leaned in to read it. Chinese characters, deep, old. I didn't read Chinese. My grandmother had been Chinese American, but that whole side of the family was gone. Nobody left to teach me. I took a photo with my phone. I'd look it up later when I got signal. As I was stepping back, I heard something. From inside the silo, a thump, like something heavy shifting. I froze, listened. Nothing. Then another thump, and then a voice. Faint, singing. A kid's voice. Ring around the rosy. I stepped away from the silo fast. Wind, I told myself. Old building, acoustics playing tricks, but my hands were shaking. I walked back to the house, locked the door, which was stupid. Who locks doors on a farm? But I did it anyway. It was 6:15, sun setting, house getting dark. I found light switches, most worked, some bulbs were dead. I heated up some soup from the pantry, ate standing at the kitchen counter. As I ate, I looked at those family photos again. 3 kids, my dad and his 2 brothers. Why had he never told me about them? I tried my phone, still no signal. At 8 p.m., exhausted from the drive and the weirdness, I crashed, brushed my teeth, changed into sweats, got into the old bed. The house creaked. Settled. Old houses do that. I'd worked on enough of them to know. I was almost asleep when I heard it again. The singing. Louder, clearer. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Coming from outside, I got up, went to the window. In the moonlight, I could see the old silo. And standing next to it, a kid, small, maybe 6 or 7, wearing old-fashioned clothes, just standing there, looking up at my window. I blinked, rubbed my eyes. The kid was gone. Too much coffee, I told myself. Long day, stressed about the inheritance, mind playing tricks. I went back to bed. At 3:17 a.m., I woke up to footsteps. In the house, on the stairs, coming up. I sat up fast, reached for my phone. The flashlight would have to work as a weapon if needed. The footsteps stopped, right outside my bedroom door. The doorknob turned, slowly. The door opened. And standing in the doorway was a boy. About 10 years old, Asian, wearing pajamas from the 1970s. He looked exactly like one of the boys in the family photos downstairs. We stared at each other. Then he spoke. "Don't open the silo." His voice was hollow, wrong, like it was coming from far away. "Who the hell are you?" I demanded, trying to sound tough, failing. "Don't open the silo. Promise me." "I don't understand." "Promise." The lights flickered. The temperature dropped 20 degrees in a second. Okay, I promise." The boy nodded once and vanished, just disappeared into nothing. I sat in that bed, heart hammering, until sunrise. I didn't sleep another goddamn minute. At 7 a.m., I was dressed, packed, and ready to leave. Fuck this farm. Fuck the money. I'd sell it sight unseen from Chicago, never come back. But as I was throwing my duffel in the truck, another truck pulled up the driveway. Old farmer, 70s, weathered face like old leather, cat diesel cap. "You must be Daniel," he said, getting out. "I'm Dale Peterson. I farm next door. Been leasing your grandfather's fields for 15 years. Mr. Peterson, heard you were in town. Thought I'd stop by, see if you needed anything. Actually, I was just leaving. You saw something last night." Not a question. I hesitated. "How'd you know?" "Everyone who stays in that house sees something." "Your grandfather saw them every night for 40 years, lived with it, said he deserved it." "Deserved what? What the hell happened here?" He looked at the old silo, back at me. "You should come into town. There's people you need to talk to. People who knew your family, who remember what happened." "Remember what?" 1972, the accident, the reason your dad left and never came back. 20 minutes later, I was sitting in Millie's diner on Main Street with Dale and 3 other old-timers. Millie herself, 80, owned the place since the 60s. Frank Morris, 78, retired mailman. Ruth Jiang, 82, only other Chinese family in Riverside. They all knew my grandfather. They all remembered 1972, and they decided it was time I knew. Millie brought coffee, sat down with a heavy sigh. "Your grandfather was a good man," she started. "Came here from California in 1959, bought that farm, married a local girl, Helen. They had 3 boys. Your dad, James, and the twins, Michael and David, the boys in the photos. What happened to them?" Ruth took over. "Your grandfather did well. Built up the operation. 1972, he was expanding, building that old silo. Grain prices were good. He needed storage." She paused, sipped coffee. "The twins, they were 10. Boys, curious, always into everything. Your grandfather told them to stay away from the construction site." I knew where this was going. My stomach sank. "August 14th, 1972, Frank said quietly. Silo was almost done, just needed the top sealed. The boys were playing hide and seek. Michael climbed inside. David went to find him. The construction crew didn't know they were in there," Dale continued. They sealed the top, locked the door for the night. By the time anyone realized the boys were missing, Jesus Christ. They suffocated, Ruth said, inside that silo. Took 3 days to find them. Your grandfather finally tore the door open himself. But it was too late. I felt sick. Your grandmother, Helen, she couldn't handle it, Millie added. Had a complete breakdown, hospitalized for a year, came back different, died in 1985, heart, but really she died the day they found those boys. And my dad. James was 14, Ruth said. He blamed your grandfather, said it was his fault for building that damn silo, said he should have watched the boys better. James left for college the day he turned 18. Never came back. Changed his last name from Harper to your mother's maiden name. Cut all ties. My grandfather stayed here after all that. Dale nodded, said he deserved to suffer, said the boys' spirits were in that silo and he wouldn't abandon them, refused to tear it down, refused to leave, lived with it for 40 years. He chained it shut, I said. After the first time he went back inside, Frank said, week after the funeral. Went into, I don't know. Say goodbye, I guess. He was in there 2 hours, came out white as a sheet. Never said what he saw, just chained it shut, put those Chinese characters on it. Never opened it again. What do the characters mean? Ruth answered. Don't open, that's all. Don't open. We sat in silence. The boys, I finally asked, they're ghosts. Are they still there? You tell us, Millie said. You stayed in the house. What did you see? I described the boy in my doorway. The one who made me promise. They exchanged knowing looks. That was David, Ruth said. The younger twin by 3 minutes, always protective, looking after his brother, even after death. Why doesn't he want anyone opening the silo? Because, Dale said slowly, Michael is still in there. And according to your grandfather, Michael's not alone anymore. What do you mean, not alone? I asked. Dale shifted. About 10 years back, your grandfather got drunk at the VFW, only time anyone ever saw him drink. Started talking about the silo, said he heard things from inside. Not just the boys, other voices, older, angry. He said, Ruth added, the silo was built on bad ground. Construction crew found something when they dug the foundation. Old bones, a lot of them. They didn't report it, would have shut down construction, just reburied them and poured concrete over them. Human bones. This land has history, Frank said. Before farms, it was prairie. Before that, native territory. Could be an old burial ground. Could be something else. Nobody knows. Your grandfather believed, Millie said carefully, that whatever was buried there woke up when the boys died. Their deaths fed it, gave it power. He said the silo wasn't just haunted by his sons, it was a door to something underneath. I wanted to call bullshit. I was a construction guy. I dealt in blueprints and building codes, hard facts, but I'd seen David, clear as day. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Because you inherited more than land, Dale said. You inherited responsibility. That silo can't be opened, can't be torn down, has to stay sealed. Why can't it be torn down? Your grandfather tried, Ruth said. Hired a demo company in '95, they set charges. Then the foreman had a heart attack, dead at 42, healthy guy. After that, no company would touch it. Tried again in 2003, Frank added. Wrecking ball, first swing, the ball broke free, killed a worker. Word spread fast, the silo's cursed, nobody goes near it now. So what, I'm supposed to keep it locked forever? That's what your grandfather did, Dale said. That's what the will says, if you read the fine print. I pulled out the documents, read through the legal language. There it was. The concrete silo structure erected 1972 shall not be demolished, opened, or altered. Binding on all heirs in perpetuity. Failure to comply results in forfeiture of property. How had I missed that? I can't sell the farm unless the buyer agrees to this. Good luck finding one, Millie said. Everyone around here knows the story. I sat back, processing. I was stuck with a haunted farm and a silo I couldn't open or destroy, containing my dead uncle's ghost and possibly something worse. As a construction foreman, I'd dealt with some weird shit on job sites. Found bodies, found old tunnels, found things that didn't make sense. But this was different. There has to be a way to fix this, I said. Some way to, I don't know, put them to rest. Your grandfather tried everything, Ruth said. Priests, mediums, nothing worked. I spent the rest of the morning in that diner listening to stories about my grandfather, the farm, the strange things people witnessed over the years, lights in the silo at night, singing, animals refusing to go near it. A farmhand who tried to open it and lost 3 fingers when the chain snapped back. By noon, I had a choice: sell the farm at a huge loss and walk away, or deal with this myself. Figure out what my grandfather couldn't. The construction guy in me said sell, but another part, a part that sounded like my grandfather, said stay. These were my uncles, my blood, their story was my story. And maybe I could help them. At 2 p.m., I drove back to the farm. At 3 p.m., I stood in front of that silo. At 3:15 p.m., I made a decision. I was going to open it. I'm a builder. I solve problems. I fix things. And I was going to fix this. I wasn't stupid about it. I didn't just grab a crowbar and start prying. I prepared. Over the next 3 days, drove to Iowa City, found a professor of anthropology, asked about native burial sites in Johnson County, got maps, confirmed the farm sat on what was likely Meskwaki territory, 1700s, 1800s, hit the library, found records. 1847, a settlement had been on this land. 7 families, all disappeared over 1 winter. No bodies found. Land sat empty 60 years. Called my dad, finally got him on the phone. He lost his shit. Told me the same thing David had told him the night before the accident. That David had dreamed about something underneath, something waiting. Dad hadn't believed him. After David died, the guilt ate him alive. That's why he left. Found a priest, got blessed, got holy water. Priest wouldn't come to the property. Said 2 priests tried exorcising the silo in 73. Both had breakdowns. Bought gear, industrial flashlight, rope, respirator, camera, first aid kit, and bolt cutters. Heavy duty for the chain. By October 19th, I was ready as I'd ever be. I'd been staying at a motel in town, but that night I went back to the farmhouse. I needed to talk to David first, waited until dark. 10 p.m., sat in the living room. David, I called out, I know you can hear me, we need to talk. Silence. I know what happened, about the accident, about Michael. I'm sorry, I'm so damn sorry. The temperature dropped. I could see my breath. I want to help. I want to bring Michael home, but I need to open the silo. No. His voice, from somewhere in the room. Why not? He's your brother. Don't you want him free? He's not alone in there. Closer now. I know. There's something else. But if we work together, you don't understand. I could see him now. 10 years old, translucent, sad. It's not just something from before, it's from below, under the silo. We didn't just die, we woke it up. Our fear, our death, it fed on it, got stronger. What is it? I don't know, but it's hungry, been hungry a long time. The silo keeps it contained. You open it, it might get out. Or, I said, we destroy it. Free you and Michael, end this. David flickered. Michael doesn't want to be free. What? He's been in there 50 years. With it, he's changed. Part of it now. If you open that door, he's not my brother anymore. I have to try. Then you're a fool. David's voice hardened. You'll die, like everyone who tried. I'm a harper. We're all fools, but we don't quit. David stared at me, then slowly nodded. You remind me of Grandpa, stubborn. He said you were like him, said maybe you'd be the one to finish it. He talked to you? Every day. Sat outside that silo, told us about Dad, about you, showed us pictures. He was proud of you, even though you never knew him. That hit hard. I wish I'd known him. He knows. He's watching, from wherever the good ones go, and he's proud, even though you're about to do something really stupid. David, if I do this, will you help me? Long silence. I can't go inside, can't face it, too scared. That's okay, just be there, please. When? Tomorrow, noon, daylight. It's stronger at night, David warned, but daylight won't stop it. Then tomorrow at noon, we end this. David faded. I tried to sleep, couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the silo, heard singing, Ring Around the Rosie. October 20th, 2020. Tuesday, noon, grey sky, temperature in the 50s, wind picking up. I stood in front of the silo, bolt cutters in hand. I'd told Dale my plan. He tried talking me out of it. When that failed, he said he'd check on me in 2 hours. If I didn't call, he'd call the sheriff. I'd written a note, left it in the motel. If I died at at least people would know. The chain was thick, rusted, industrial. Took me 20 minutes of cutting and leverage. But finally, snap, chain fell, hit the ground hard. The door was just a door now. No lock, just rust and time. I grabbed the handle, pulled, stuck. 50 years of weather. I put my weight into it. Pulled harder. With a scream of metal, it opened. Darkness inside. Total darkness. And the smell. Jesus Christ, the smell. Death. Rot. Something worse. I clicked on my flashlight. Shined it inside. The silo was empty. No grain, just concrete walls rising into shadow. In the center, a hole, about 6 feet across, going down into the earth. I walked closer. Shined my light down, deep. 20 feet, 30, and at the bottom, bones. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands. And among the bones, movement. Something was down there. Something was alive. I stepped back fast. "Michael," I called, voice echoing. "Michael, you in here?" Silence. Then, from above, I looked up, top of the silo, 60 feet up. In the shadows near the dome, 2 shapes hanging from the ceiling. The boys, Michael and David. Bodies, exactly as they'd been found, somehow preserved in this space. I had to look away. "Michael," I said again, "I'm Daniel, your nephew. I'm here to help." From the hole, a voice. Not a child's voice. Deep, ancient. Many voices as one. "Daniel." It knew my name. "Who are you?" "We are the hungry, the forgotten, the sleepers beneath. You took my uncles, let them go. They fed us. Fear, death, delicious. We kept them. Release them." Laughter. Horrible wet laughter from everywhere. "Make us." A hand shot from the hole, grabbed my ankle. I yelled, tried to pull away. The hand was wrong. Too many fingers, rotting flesh on old bone. It pulled me toward the hole. I hit the concrete, hard. The thing dragged me toward the edge. "David," I shouted, "help!" Light blazed. David appeared, solid. He grabbed my other arm, pulled. The thing let go. I scrambled back. David put himself between me and the hole. "I told you," he said. "Told you not to open it." "What do we do?" "Close the door, seal it. Maybe it goes back to sleep." "What about Michael?" "Michael chose this. He's been feeding it. He's not my brother anymore." From above, a voice. Michael's, but layered with that ancient sound. "Brother, join us, forever." "No," David said firmly. The temperature plunged. Ice formed on walls. Things started climbing from the hole. Shapes. Constructs of bones and darkness and hunger. "Run," David said. I ran, out of the silo, into daylight. Behind me, things were coming, pouring from the hole, into the world. I'd let it out. They came out like a swarm, dozens of them, bone things, assembled from the dead, moving with terrible purpose. Some on 2 legs, some on 4, some crawling, all wrong. Fast, I ran for the barn. The things followed, clicking, scraping, made it inside, slammed the door, found a 2x4, braced it. Immediately they were at the walls. The door, scratching, clawing. Wood started splintering. "David," I yelled. "Help me," he appeared, flickering. "The barn won't hold them. The house is stronger." Grandpa's grief made it different, protected, but they'll break through eventually. "How do I stop them?" "You can't. Only it can call them back." "Then I kill it." "You can't. It's ancient, older than everything." "Then what?" David looked at me, fading. "You do what Grandpa should have done. Burn it. The silo, the hole, everything. Fire is the only thing it fears. The farm is cursed. Let it burn." The door broke. Things poured in. I grabbed a sledgehammer from the tool rack, swung, connected. The thing exploded into bones and smoke. But more came. I fought my way to the back, to the tractor. Keys were in it. I fired it up, drove it straight through the back wall of the barn. The things followed. I drove toward the house, jumped off, ran inside, locked the door. They hit it seconds later. The gasoline, David's voice. Grandpa kept gas for the tractor, in the shed. I looked out the back window. Small shed, 50 feet away. Things were everywhere, but I had to try. I grabbed my grandfather's shotgun from the bedroom, loaded it, opened the back door, fired both barrels into the mass of bone things. They scattered. Briefly, I ran, made it to the shed, grabbed 2 gas cans, 5 gallons each, ran back. Things were reforming, coming. I didn't go back to the house. I ran toward the silo. They saw me, turned, pursued. I made it to the silo, threw 1 gas can inside, through the open door. Heard it splash, spill down the hole. The second can I poured around the outside, around the door, made a circle. Things were 20 feet away. "I'm sorry, David," I said. "Sorry I couldn't save him." "You're saving me," David said, next to me one last time, "by ending this." I pulled out my lighter. The things were 10 feet away. I lit the gas. Fire erupted, a wall of flame around the silo. The gas inside ignited. From below, a scream. Ancient, terrible. The sound of something being hurt for the first time in centuries. The bone things stopped, turned, crawled back toward the silo, into the flames, toward their master. They burned. The fire spread, into the silo. Down the hole, I backed away from the heat. The scream continued, weakening, and then silence. The fire burned. The silo began to collapse. Heat weakening the old concrete. It fell inward, into the hole, burying it. David stood next to me. "Is it over?" "I think so. I feel lighter, like I can finally—" He looked up. The clouds parted, sunlight, and descending from that light, my grandmother, Helen, smiling, arms open, and Michael, not the corrupted thing, real Michael, 10 years old, free. "Mum," David whispered. "Come home," she said. "Both of you." David looked at me. "Thank you. I'm sorry it took so long. You did what no one else could." "Grandpa's proud. Your dad will understand now." He rose toward his mother, his brother. They embraced and vanished into light. I stood there, watched the silo burn. Fire trucks arrived 30 minutes later. Dale had seen the smoke. By the time they extinguished it, the silo was gone. The hole was collapsed, sealed. Whatever had been below was buried. Fire marshal ruled it accidental. Old structure, gas leak. I didn't argue. Insurance paid out. Enough to rebuild if I wanted. Dale offered to buy the land. Fair price. He'd been leasing it anyway. "You sure you want this property?" I asked. "After everything." "Curse is gone," he said. "I can feel it. Place is clean now." He was right. The weight was lifted. I sold him the farm, kept the house, decided to fix it up myself, spent the next 6 months renovating. Stripped it down to studs, rebuilt it right. It was therapy, in a way. Working with my hands, building something good on cursed ground. My dad came out in November, first time back in 48 years. We stood where the silo had been, just dirt now. Dale had planted over it. "I'm sorry," he said. "Sorry I never told you. Sorry I ran. You were a kid. You were hurt. I should have come back. Should have helped him. He carried that alone for 40 years. He understood. David told me. Grandpa never blamed you." We visited the cemetery, my grandparents' graves, the twins' headstones. "They're at peace now," I said. Dad nodded. Couldn't speak, just cried. We scattered their ashes, the remains finally recovered from the silo, over the farm. Let them become part of the land they died protecting. I went back to Chicago in April, back to construction. But I kept the farmhouse, rent it out most of the year. Airbnb, city people love it. Authentic Iowa farm experience. If they only knew, I visit twice a year. Spring and fall, check on the place. Sometimes I sit where the silo was, talk to my uncles, to my grandfather, thank them. The farm is clean now, peaceful. Dale says his crops have never been better. Whatever poisoned the land is gone. But I learned something from all this. The Midwest has secrets, dark histories buried under fields and farms and small towns, things we built over, things we forgot about, things that wait. I started researching other properties, other stories. Turns out there are a lot of them. Cursed farms, haunted barns, things in the wells, and people need help. Last month, a guy in Wisconsin called me. Dairy farm. Strange shit happening. I drove up. Investigated. Found another burial ground. Another angry spirit. Helped him fix it. Word spread, quietly. The construction foreman from Chicago who deals with the weird stuff. I started a side business. Property restoration and consultation. Sounds normal, but clients know what it really means. I help people with problems nobody else will touch, because I learned something from my grandfather. You don't abandon family, you don't run from responsibility, and you fix what's broken. Even if it's haunted. Especially if it's haunted. This is Daniel Harper, construction foreman, property consultant, problem solver. And that was the story of the silo, my first story, but not my last, because the Midwest has secrets, and I'm digging them up. That was 3 years ago. Since then, I've investigated 43 properties across 8 states. Farms, houses, barns, churches, all with dark histories, all needing help. I've helped most. Not all. Some places are too far gone, but I try. The farmhouse in Iowa, still mine, still renting it out. Place is popular, nobody knows what happened there, and I'm not telling. The land is clean. The curse is broken. The boys are at peace. That's enough. I think about them sometimes, late at night on job sites. Think about my grandfather, 40 years of guilt. Think about my dad, 48 years of running. Think about David and Michael, 50 years of suffering. All ended because someone finally had the balls to open that door. Sometimes I wonder, how many other silos are out there? How many basements, wells, barns? How many families suffering in silence? How many secrets buried under Midwest soil? The answer is a lot. More than you'd think. And I'm just one guy. Can't fix them all. But I can try. So if you're out there, if you've got a property with a dark history, if weird shit is happening and nobody believes you, call me. I'll help if I can, because I learned from the best. My grandfather taught me, you don't quit. My uncles taught me, some things are worth dying for. My dad taught me, running doesn't solve anything. And the Midwest taught me, the past doesn't stay buried forever. This is Daniel Harper, construction foreman, ghost hunter, Midwest secret keeper. And I'm just getting started.